Thank you so much for allowing me to encourage you on Marriage Mondays. We've been walking this journey, this beautiful journey together, looking at the 4 laws that God has for marriage. We're on the 4th law. We started it last week, continuation this week. It's the law of purity. It's being naked and unashamed in our marriage, having a naked marriage. And we're going to look this week at 2 components of being vulnerable or naked with our spouse in marriage. One is a spiritual nakedness. I need to be able to communicate with my spouse and vice versa what God is teaching me and showing me. I need to communicate that with vulnerability, with transparency with her. When she's struggling or when I'm struggling in my faith, in my relationship with God, we need to have an openness and a vulnerability to have those conversations with each other. That's what God means when he says you are naked and vulnerable spiritually. It's this openness, this transparency. And then mentally, to have a nakedness mentally, what's going on in your thoughts? What are you thinking about? What's keeping you up at night? To have dialogue and communication about that is really vitally important in our marriage. We've got to understand that God wants oneness. 2 lives becoming one. And a part of that, a big part of that in this law is this law of purity, having this naked marriage, naked spiritually and naked mentally. Think through that, process through that. Am I sharing with my spouse what God's been teaching me, what God's showing me, what maybe I'm wrestling with, what doubts, fears, concerns I have right now? What are some things that are really challenging right now in my faith? Communicate that with your spouse. And then mentally, where is your mind? What are you thinking about? What's keeping you up at night? Share your thoughts. Share what your mind is thinking through with your spouse. It's so vitally important. Thank you so much for allowing me to encourage you on Marriage Mondays.